Quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. They're on the march, but facing a third down here.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
From the gun, Murray. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Kevin Dodd with a big-time sack on third down, and it'll be a loss of 7.
Yeah, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And he floated one out there incomplete. Ryan Poole that time there to get a hand on it.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
They go play action with Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Now Wilson on first down. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. Play action. It's Wilson. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Penny. And he's taken down inside the 30. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. Here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Baldwin. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On second down, here's Penny. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. An 18-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with the battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Dolphins' offense now heads back on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football. But how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes it's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
To throw on third down. Murray. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Here's Matt Hawk now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. It doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now it's Wilson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne and try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time. Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And out now come the Seahawks. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Wilson, and incomplete there. A nice hit, jars the ball free, and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Play action. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a 1st down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
On 1st and 10, Murray. They'll roll him out right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
That one good for 13 and a Dolphin 1st down.
But they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them. Providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. To throw on 2nd down. Murray fighting, lost the football. But I think a Dolphin was able to fall on it. Yes, they'll keep possession here.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual. For the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
They'll begin the drive with Carson. They'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And it'll be Dolphin football. And out come the Dolphins now. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception,
the ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by Brad McDougal. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. From the gun, it's Wilson. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Brian Poole. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
And running the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray got a man over the middle. It's Williams. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Off play action. Murray. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
Footing's definitely going to be an issue because it's tough to make those quick cuts that you're used to making on a soggy track. In fact, a Hall of Fame runner once told me, cut on your heels in this type of weather. Gives you better balance.
This is Carson. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll start up at TIAA Stadium in Jacksonville, where it was the visiting Bills who were able to come away with the victory on the road. The Bills get out to a hot start as they get the road victory in their opener. From there, we head north to Minnesota. Check on the Vikings at home at US Bank Stadium. And it was the visiting Carolina Panthers who were victorious in that one. The Panthers with the best possible start to their season, a road victory in the opener. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Denver Broncos. The Broncos start the campaign 1-0 with the road victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back